Welcome everyone to the 36th episode of the BDE Sports Talk podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Bill, along with the co-hosts, the two brothers, the twin towers, the muscle of the family,
5'10",
the D and E of the BDE, Dean and Eddie. Fellas, looking great tonight. How you guys doing?
Appreciate it. Feeling good.
Doing good. I thought I was the only muscle of the family, but I guess
I'm mostly fat.
and we can talk about that tonight. Perfect segue into our special guest, as you're starting to become a regular on the podcast now. Dodie RDN. I still put the N.
Yes, do. The younger people. When I graduated as RD, now it's RDN, which is the same thing. So.
Oh, well, perfect. Yep. The extra letter just means more. So
it does. So, what a nutritionist means and a dietitian. Honestly, that's why we did it.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how you doing?
I'm picking up. I'm licking my wounds. I'm feeling better. Monday was a really rough day over here, but I'm sure it was there too. So we're just setting our sights on new activities, and we started watching some Oscar movies to distract our sorrow, and I'm getting ready for that now.
Any good ones?
Yeah, yesterday we saw American Fiction in the theaters. It's nominated for 5 awards. And it was really good. It was the first time JP and I ever been to the movies together, and we've been together 4 years.
Wow.
Theater, yeah.
I watched Oppenheimer a couple weeks ago, and I loved it. And people said you should have watched it in theaters because it was awesome to see in theaters. And I guess I could see that with the sound around it. But I was curious. Yeah, no, American Fiction, put that on the list for sure.
Yeah, it's good. It is really good. I need to see that one too. We just started this Monday watching the Oscars nominations. It gets me into it. I guess it's kind of a thing out here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get into it till I moved out here. It is kind of a big thing out here. Kind of like
there was a time I used to do that too. When I'd see the nominees, I'd be like, I want to watch the movies that are for Best Picture. Yeah. But then some, they're like, there's such like almost indie movies that you were like, okay, all right,
or like French or foreign
I understand like the good storytelling and everything else, but I also kind of want like somebody to get shot.
Okay.
Or something crazy to happen, I mean, I'm basic in that way. I want to see
a little action,
flash.
Some lights.
I agree. Like when I lived in Michigan, I just watched more of the light, fluffy movies. Mm-hmm. I think that was more because of my family, and my dad's not a big movie person, and my mom's not into gore. So we watched those nice movies. And then when I moved out here and I started watching Oscar, I was like deep movies, but it's kind of cool. And you learn something. You learn about psychology with people. I learned something about my sisters and me yesterday, because in American Fiction, it's about three children that are adults now with their mother. And so the dynamics of the siblings kind of, was like, oh, that reminds me of, or that reminds me of B.
Definitely check that out. I also happen to have 2 siblings.
Sure.
And the mother.
The BDE Sports Talk podcast is thrilled to announce that we actually have our first official sponsor of the show, Adobo Boy in Kentwood, Michigan. Now, whoever has watched or listened to the podcast knows that Dean, Eddie, and I are Filipinos. And with being Filipinos, we love Filipino food. And Adobo Boy, who serves Filipino food, delivers in every facet of the game. Their menu rotates weekly, so there's always a reason to come back to try more delicious Filipino cuisines. But one dish you can always count on, and it's on there every week, is Red's Adobo Bowl, which I highly recommend. Adobo is a iconic Filipino dish, so definitely one to try out there. I absolutely love it. It's their signature dish as well. It features tender pork, braised in soy sauce and vinegar, served on a bed of rice with Jackie's achar, which is a papaya salad, which is awesome. Comes with cucumber and a fried egg as well. So with that said, if you're adventurous with food or you just want some amazing food and vibes, stop into Adobo Boy, where Ace, Jackie, and Red, the owners of Adobo Boy, they are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. Seriously, just awesome people. So for this weekend and next week until our next episode, if you stop in, you get 5% off your total bill if you mention the code BDE Sports Talk Podcast. Pretty simple for this week, especially if you're listening. Just let them know. They'll take 5% off right there, which, you know, in today's age, saving money is saving money. So Adobo Boy, they're open Tuesday to Friday, 11:30 to 2 p.m. for lunch, and then 5 to 7:30 for dinner. Same schedule on Saturday, only open till 8:30, so an extra hour for dinner. Adobo Boy is located at 3740 28th Street Southeast in Kentwood, Michigan. It's inside the amazing Myanmar restaurant. So there are actually two places that you can try amazing food and meet some amazing people. But Adobo Boy, hands down the best. Go out and try it. 5% off. Code BDE Sports Talk Podcast. So before we get going, we wanted to really kind of touch real quick on how the podcast is going to move forward. So with football season being done, which we're, for all intents and purposes, we're a mostly football podcast. I mean, we talk about, you know what I mean? We talk about hockey and basketball and whatnot.
This is the main stuff at the time.
Yeah. Right. And football just takes a lot of, with college football and the NFL and whatnot. So with it slowing down, we wanted to try, and I think we're going to start this next week, is we're going to have one episode that's going to go about an hour, just strictly related to sports stuff. Our other episode will probably have, we got to iron out the details, but probably have the weekend update, talk about just a couple random things, play some games, and, you know, that'll be about an hour or two. So if you guys have any thoughts, ideas, please say hello. I'm begging you, please. No, I'm just kidding. But
we've seen what happened when people start saying hello too.
Yeah,
that's true.
Quite discourteous to me.
quite discourteous.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
So,
it's all good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna start that either next week or the week after. I think it'll be a nice little change of pace, kind of break things up from a 2-hour podcast to a 1-hour podcast each. So those will probably be more than likely both in the same week. The sports one, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna try to get out within the next day because it's only an hour, a day or two. So for the people just yearning for our content, you'll get double dose of the Twin Towers.
We're much taller in person.
Well, I mean, if you put me in the middle.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's get into the weekend update. And this week we will start with Dodie. Dodie, did you have anything from the weekend besides the Lions?
Yeah. Oh, I had a yard sale. That was kind of fun. And
how did you do?
$57 I made, and then let's see, JP made $375. So it was with 4 or 5 of my girlfriends that I was telling you about, where we did this sexy Santa thing in December.
That's where the 375.
I tried to do that once. I made nothing.
I got turned away. I owed people.
JP's doing sexy Santa car washes out there. $375.
No, he was selling like more electronic stuff. So that's why he made such good money. Me, it was like my clothing. And I did have some Lion shirts actually, because I have so many. I have some I don't wear anymore, and they were going because people were like, "Oh wow, they're playing this weekend." I'm like, "Yeah, here you go." So that was
You saw that quite a bit around here too. A lot of the people wearing Lion stuff in week 19, 19 or 20. So, oh yeah.
Expected.
Well, congrats on the $57.
Thank you.
Eddie, how'd your weekend go?
It was good, man. Watched some soccer. Got to see you and the fam.
Oh yeah,
for a bit at Johnny's soccer game. One thing we didn't have lined up today, I didn't want to bring up just because it happened last night. Was two things about it was the Izzo win, number 700 against Michigan last night, which makes it a little sweeter in its own way, but at the same time, it's whatever. Hogard got his 1,000th point, which was cool too. You like seeing that for the guys that have stuck around. The other thing I wanted to say about the game, because I was watching it, it was just it's just kind of sad to see the state of that rivalry now.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to go back to like the days when Beeline was there and we're playing for conference championships and teams are looking to make a run in the tournament and whatnot. And even at Michigan State, last night it wasn't the atmosphere you'd hope for like a real rivalry. And I almost thought I bet it's like that for Michigan sometimes with football. I mean, football's different because this is a football state,
right?
We're a football country, really. But when Michigan State's not good, I know you always have the thought of an upset. It's just so much more rare to happen. And then when an upset happens in basketball, you're like, okay, well, it's basketball, so whatever.
Right.
But
game of runs.
I just kind of miss the big games for that. And Michigan State's a pretty average team right now too, and Michigan is below average right now, to say the least.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say about that. 700th win. That's a big deal in its own way. 30-something this coach to do it. But I want to get into the story I saw. It was probably from a couple weeks back. What was that?
I said yes.
What?
I love these stories. I live for these stories. Half this podcast,
live for
I
these?
just live
Pull
I
over on
got
the
some
highway.
this week too.
You do? Well, I saw this story. It was a couple weeks ago. So you're. I mean, you can understand it because this happened in Florida, right? So things happen there for whatever reason. People are just baked in the sun for too long. But there was these roommates. Okay, we'll call them roommate A and roommate B. Roommate B is sleeping, middle of the night. Roommate A comes up and wakes up roommate B and is demanding the $10 that roommate A owes them. And the guy's like, it's whatever o'clock in the morning. Not right now. It's $10. So then the guy is like, okay, well, if you're not giving me the $10, will you watch my 6-month-old pit bull puppy? And the guy's like, it's whatever o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm going back to sleep. Like, it's not pit bull babysit time or $10 time, for this guy. So the upset roommate loads up like a AR style pellet gun, like an airsoft gun. Goes outside and starts like firing at the house.
Okay.
And so he's just like shooting airsoft pellets at the house over this situation, and is in like true like friend or roommate fashion. The guy inside is obviously awake now. He's giving him crap because he's a bad shot. Like, oh, you're not, you're not hitting me or whatever. I don't know exactly what was said. All it said was he was giving him a hard time over being a bad shot. So the roommate outside, he's like, well, now I'm going to go inside. He goes inside, puts the pellet gun up to the guy's cheek and fires away.
No.
And obviously puts a hole in the guy's cheek.
Yeah.
And cracks some teeth. Got infected. Now the one roommate's like pressing charges and whatever. So it's like, it makes me think a couple things. So which one like wasn't worth it?
Right.
One, they said the $10 was lent to the guy to buy medication and torches, which are in Florida, so it's not like they're talking about flashlights, right? Like in England, they would say torches. They're talking about flashlights. Like where you? I want to know the store because that sounds like a good store. If you can get medicine and torches for $10, dude, that's a steal, and you know it. Too, it's like I don't know if I've been in a situation where I don't know if I'm going to fire anything to anybody's face over $10, or like feel moved enough to shoot somebody in the face over $10, or to watch my pit bull puppy, which I haven't had one. I haven't had a pit bull puppy, but I don't know if I'd fire into somebody's face for it. And it made me wonder.
Point blank.
Have you any of you guys had a roommate that you were so fed up with that you would over a $10 situation?
Well, that problem is going to be remedied in a couple months.
I was going to say the same thing.
Burn.
A roommate that bad?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't know if they're that bad. I mean, but for you, it would have to be pretty bad to take an AR style pellet gun and put it up to your roommate's cheek and fire.
It'd have to be more than $10.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I've been desperate for $10, but like not desperate enough to load up a pellet gun and shoot somebody in the face with it.
You just mess your own mouth up.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, that's crazy. That's that person's psychotic.
Dodie, you?
I know.
Just straight up no.
I'm not saying a lot because you're actually may see me on TV sometime. I don't know when, but I was recently on a court case show. And but it's not dealing with the situation we're talking about. But I'm just thinking about like court cases and suing someone and then what doing the right thing is always the best answer. That is not the best answer. Just when someone's digging themselves a hole, just let them keep digging and don't join in.
Yeah.
You got a teaser for the show?
Yeah, you're just gonna throw that out there and then
Judge
like,
Joe Brown, or like, what's going on?
If you can't say, you can't say, but
Yeah.
I can say I think I can say the show. It's so you can keep your eyes peeled. It's a spin off of Judge Judy's called Tribunal Justice.
Okay.
All right.
The 3 judges.
Real
So,
life cases.
So it's like American Idol for litigation.
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
The one judge is like, golden ticket.
You
You win.
He's like, that's a no for me, dog.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to court before. One judge is enough,
Yeah.
Certainly.
So, I've done a couple times. I get better every time. Well,
Nice.
usually.
It's experience.
It is. If swear to goodness, you do learn. It sharpens you. It does. I make me a better person, instead of getting mad about it. And if it's something about like my contract, and it's kind of like a nice complimentary comb through my contract by judges, what I need to put in there, things like that. So you can look at it in a positive way and learn.
Yeah.
Oh, I love court.
Learn from others' mistakes.
Look at it this way. Now that you've been on tribunal justice, the next time you go to court and there's only one judge, you'll be good.
No kidding. It'll seem like a breeze.
Yeah, no
I
kidding.
got this guy, girl.
No kidding.
All right. Dean.
Wasn't a lot of like real interesting stuff that I watched or anything over the week, other than, the sports and whatever. But I did hit X Golf this weekend with a couple of buddies. That was fun. Hit the golf simulator. It's looking pretty good out there on Pebble Beach. Felt like I was really there. Yeah. I was only 8 over through 6. It was pretty sweet. It wasn't bad,
nice.
Honestly. My buddies were both like plus 20. I was sitting there waiting for them to hit for quite a while.
You gonna take your talents down to the real Pebble Beach and show them what's up?
I'm going to Q school in a couple of weeks, so
show them what's up. 8 over through 6.
What's the handicap here? What can I get as my handicap? So that was fun. I did see this video it was just a funny video of this lady. She was snowboarding somewhere in Colorado or something like that. And she had like her headphones in and she was like singing that Rihanna song, that work song or whatever, Mm-hmm. And while she's like snowboarding down the hill in her camp, because she's doing like a selfie stick or whatever, in the background there's a grizzly bear chasing her. And you can hear it like growling and like going for it, and she's just singing the Rihanna song, just like, hey.
Wow.
It was wild. It got close.
That's insane.
It was really close to her, but she ended up surviving and living through it, I guess. But yeah, that was the only interesting thing I saw over the weekend. So.
Yeah.
Huh. Isn't that crazy though?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. A couple things I saw. First one, I heard this on the radio. So back in 2008, like during the whole recession and that whole thing happened, the city of Chicago, they needed like a ton of money really badly. So they sold 36,000 parking meters. And it was to an LLC in Abu Dhabi for 1.1 billion. But on top of that, they gave up the control of those parking meters for 75 years for 1.1 billion. So the parking meters, they're not like only privatized to a Middle Eastern country that operates in Chicago.
Where is this?
Chicago. Yeah. But anytime the parking meters are blocked for any reason, like a parade or construction, whatever the case may be, the city has to pay extra to that LLC for the lost revenue of that day. So that was back in 2008. So in 15 years, that LLC has made all their money back, 1.1 billion, and plus 500 million in profit.
Especially in Chicago.
In 15 years, they still have 60 years of control.
Oh, they signed like a lifetime contract type
75
years. It was 75 years.
I thought you said they already had control.
Dude, I wish I could just own one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little taste of the pie, you know what I mean? Just trying to dip my finger in.
Yeah, like they do for Lambo.
It easy.
I talking about pie.
The 15 years they've already made profit on it, and they still got 60 years to go.
That's crazy.
And then
most was like, dude, they got freaking hosed. The city.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah.
You can't make a deal when you're in need like that.
Nope. We'll never have to pay that much back. 15 years later, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna owe them $3 billion by the end of this. That's wild.
So the other thing I saw, and it was today. So in New Hampshire, a woman fell into a dumpster while throwing out her garbage. How she did that, I have no idea. I don't know. She just was like the old heave ho, and just
you could see it, dude.
I mean, just like it was so
she's
heavy,
like really light, and it was a heavy bag, and she just like swung it over, and then just went in.
Just flew in.
Yeah,
just let go of the bag.
Just throwing away a TV and a microwave.
She's just like stuck upside down.
Yeah.
So She not only did no one help her get out, or no one heard her, she was later rescued from the trash truck that had compacted the contents while she was inside.
Frightening.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that Ernest movie. Didn't that happen in Ernest?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's one of the Ernest movies.
So I think per the news article, it says luckily the neighbors heard her screams and the trash compartment was equipped with a camera. So the driver spotted the woman stuck inside and called 911. But by then, the trash truck driver had already compacted the garbage up to 4 times.
Oh no!
How frightening! And stinky.
Yeah. 4 times.
So when they went to get her out, she was actually still standing, talking, and yelling, but she wasn't alert enough to answer questions.
So there's garbage saved her life essentially because it didn't squish her all the way in.
Yeah.
Sounds like an A&E show. Garbage saved my life.
Garbage saved my life. Dude, some of those shows are crazy, man. My Strange Addictions. Those are wild.
I saw one. I can't remember if it was like an RV or Cars. They were in love with some type of automobile, and they would go to I believe they went to like junkyards and like was in love with one of them. Oh no, it was a Ferris wheel.
Been there?
Oh, I think I've seen that.
Yeah, it was.
Was that True Life MTV though?
Something like that.
Oh man,
I think it was.
But I think I've seen an episode of one of those where like these people were in love with a car.
Straight up making out with the Ferris wheel, dude. You're like, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Blowing my mind.
That's crazy. I've seen some wild ones.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. Whatever.
You're not hurting anybody. I mean, I guess go make out with a Ferris wheel, dude. I don't know. Like, that's strange. That's awfully strange.
Will you hold my hand? Just opens and closes the door. Like, oh, so you said yes, huh?
Yeah, how do you gauge consent with a Ferris wheel?
It willingly opened its doors. It's cool.
Oh no.
I will.
Oh man.
Oh, it's good. It's funny.
Crazy.
Goodness.
Yeah. So getting into sports talk. Let's just get into it. Lions lose in the NFC Championship on Sunday to San Francisco in a game where a whole range of emotions for every fan of that game happened. I'm sure everyone saw it. Lions lost 34-31. Real quick stats. Jared Goff was 25 of 41, 273 and a touchdown. David Montgomery, 15 carries, 93 yards and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, 12 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown. Sam Laporta, 9 catches, 97 yards. Amon-Ra, 7 catches, 87 yards. And Jameson Williams, 2 catches, 25 yards and a touchdown. For San Francisco, Brock Purdy was 20 of 31, 267, a touchdown on interception. Christian McCaffrey, I mean, they held him in check for a while. He ended up with 20 carries, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Brandon Ayuk, 3 catches, 60 yards, a touchdown. So, good year. Stung a lot, but, you know, we kind of talked about house money last week, and I don't really believe it's house money. I think if you watch the game, they would have, or they should have won. right? Couple miscues all the way around. It's not just, we can get into it. Josh Reynolds. It's not just Jahmyr Gibbs fumble. It's not just Dan Campbell, right? And we can talk about the whole fourth down thing. And but before we do that, I want to get all your guys' thoughts, and we'll go from there. So, Dodie, how was it being in California? So close.
So we went to our Detroit, Michigan bar out here in Aliso Viejo, which is Southern Orange County, called Tony Pepperoni. And the guy who owns it, his name is Joe, and he's from Michigan, and it's where all of us go. And
hold on.
Yeah.
The owner's name is Joe, but it's called Tony Pepperoni.
I know. I kept calling him Tony for so long. He was like, no, his name's Joe. I guess it's a chain out here.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
It's friendly place. Like there's like arcades and stuff, and then they have like the big, Tonytron is what it's called, and they have the sound on for the Lions even during the regular season. We're on the big screen. And they've got Michigan stuff, Red Wings, Tigers, Pistons, not State. But we go there every game. I wish you could have heard it. I mean, you guys probably were the same. It erupted that first touchdown, with Jameson waddling up there. It was so loud, and then it just kept going, and we were gonna go. I'm telling you, Brooke, my girlfriend that I've told you about from Bay City, and JP and I and some of the other friends, we were like, we're gonna go if they make it, and we're pulling our money. It's like, Super Bowl's on my bucket list, and what better time to go than when the Lions' first time?
Of course.
And so I was nervous about that. I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, it's something I want to do. And as I told you also, I've been studying Costa Rica a lot. And I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing, but they don't worry about money as much as we do. They kind of live life like, it's like their last day. So,
right.
So I'm like, well, if I died like, a month later, I'd be glad I spent that.
For sure.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then like a couple of days before the weekend, maybe Thursday, I was like, what if we got married while we were out there too? And he was like, I'm down. I'm like, that'd be super sweet. Like Vegas, wedding,
Dude, yeah.
Lions Super
Bowl, first Lions Super Bowl wedding.
Romance abounds.
We were going to do this, and we told our friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, no, I really want them to win, and at that time it was like, oh my gosh, like this is happening, this is real. Like it was crazy. I was telling random people at the restaurant, they're like, oh my gosh, we want them to win, you guys are gonna get married. And then like it just like
then fate stepped in.
This is all so real. This is so true. And like the third quarter was like, oh my, like the whole energy level just went like in the whole place. And
sure.
And then you looked at JP.
And now we hate each other.
Start shaking your head.
Take your damn Cunningham jersey off.
But the relief was just, not pulling all that money out. That was a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that was our day. And Monday we're sad. It's our mood's been going up.
I thought you were about to say, well, that was our one chance.
we're working on things.
To be honest, I was nervous because of the offensive coordinator. I'm like, he's going to be gone. Defensive coordinator's going to be gone. This could be. Who knows? Right. Look at the Eagles. What happened to them? You
sure.
know, I mean, you
100%.
can't. It's hard,
They
just
hired
like
Matt Patricia.
Dan Campbell said. Like, who knows if we'll be back here? I believe we will, but we have to
Right.
work again. And the
It's hard.
Packers are getting better. I mean, and everyone
Ugh.
knows about us now. But look at the Pistons, though. The Pistons, remember, they were the NBA
They're
Finals,
firing up.
They're
and
getting there.
then
2 of their
no, like
last
back
3.
in '88 when you guys were so young, like
Probably 4 now. 2 of their last 4 after tonight.
like, you know, like it takes a while for a team. Like San Francisco does have more seniority, you know,
They had a lot of veterans.
and
100%.
we're still working on that. Like if we would have made it that quick, that would have been a little quick. But like the Pistons, when they made it to the finals in '88, they lost that to the Lakers. And then the next year they made it again and they won it. And then they won it again. Like, you know, so you kind of like you earn
see it building. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
That
the
makes
Niners
sense.
went through the same thing,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Agreed. Dean, how you feeling?
I mean, definitely not great. But I am happy with how the season ended as a whole. If you had told me during, after the end of last season that, hey, next year you guys are not only going to win 12 games, but you're going to win 2 playoff games and they're both going to be at home, I would have been pretty stoked about that, just to see them play in the NFC Championship game. And I mean, in that first half, had me buzzing. You know what I mean? Like I was like, we're going. This is it. This is for real.
Yeah.
And I know we'll talk about those 4th downs later, and whatever. But a lot of people, putting blame out there and in all the areas. I see a lot of hate towards Dan, and I know I saw some things that he was saying where he's like, I know, where he doesn't regret going for it on those 4th downs, and I actually don't mind it either. Once you really look at it too, because during the season they were 15 for 20 or something like that, 17 for 20 on 4th downs. They dialed up the right plays, just didn't execute it. Dan's not out there executing those plays. You know what I mean? He can only call them. I mean, I thought they were the right call. That's their team. That's the identity of the team. I mean, I knew they were going for it. Maybe not the second time, but that first 4th down that they didn't get, that killed all the momentum essentially. That one I knew. I mean, I think we all knew they were going to go for that, right? I mean, it's just who they are. They're up 14 points. You feel comfortable with it, and then you don't get it. You're like, all right, you got to stop them or hold them to a field goal. Obviously, defense couldn't stop them. That fumble obviously was huge. Defense has another shot to stop them, and then they were tied. So the people that are blaming, like Jahmyr Gibbs, like I've seen a lot of hate on Jahmyr Gibbs, like, oh, he's DeAndre Swift 2.0, he's not going to get it done, things like that. Like he fumbled, like it's his fault we lost. I'm not going to go against it. It's like,
it is.
I mean, in fairness, I mean that's fine, but I don't agree with that. I just think it's like too. It is my fault. I did wear a different sweatshirt for a while, and I think that's what did it. But they were tied after they scored, and the offense had another shot, and the momentum was already gone, right? I mean, it got washed away after they didn't get that 4th down, and so I don't know. I see a lot of hate out there. I think people should be pretty happy. You don't have to be satisfied with it, because we all know that they were good enough to at least go to the Super Bowl, maybe even win it. They beat the Chiefs before, right. But you can be happy about the outcome of the season, because it was the best season ever in Lions history. If you're going to complain about it, it's like, what? You can only ask for a little more. There isn't even much more you can ask for out of it. You know what I mean? So that's how I've been feeling on it.
Well, yeah, man, it was heartbreaking defeat. I mean, for sure. I was pretty down. Sunday night, man. It was, you know, it was all right there.
Yeah.
And then it was gone, so quickly that
blink of an eye.
It just hurt. Yeah, I mean, going into the game, I thought we can win, but it's San Fran and it's kind of their time and they got a great roster and but then you go up 24/7, you're like, whoa.
I'm standing up screaming, they can't stop us.
Yeah. I mean, I was nervous still at halftime, big time.
Yeah.
Sure. Well,
but
yeah.
I mean,
I was just gonna say real quick, that's been like their Achilles heel, right? Is third quarter, second half.
That's the next thing. I mean, it's kind of been how it's been. You can't. They fell in the third quarter a lot this year. I think they were the worst third quarter team in the league. I don't have stats to back that up, but I knew they were pretty close to that. You can't lose a quarter 17-0 anyway, and expect to win. And to me, the key, a lot of people, like you said, were putting it on DC, on whoever, but I mean, it was definitely a combination of a lot of things. I mean, I think we only had 5 drives in the second half, and the first 3, the drop on fourth down, then the fumble was a real killer, and then that 3 and out was devastating. After that, if you only have 5 drives, dude, and that's how 3 go, you're not going to do much. They didn't come out ready. I mean, like we were saying, pretty much how they have all year in the third. And you can't do that against a team with what I mean, most people consider probably the best top to bottom roster in the NFL. So It sucks. To sum it all up, it sucks, dude. It sucks bad. And what else are you going to do, man? Great season. Sad final result. Hell of a ride. Let's see what happens next year. So the final PFF grades in a game, the top 5 on offense. Of course, Panay at the top, as he'd been at the top a lot this year. Monty, Ragnow, Laporta, Goff were your top 5. Bottom of the offense, at the very bottom, was Josh Reynolds. Awasika, Gibbs, Ferkser, Decker. Bottom of the defense, CD Deuce, Cam Sutton, which I would say, I think, now he has been at the bottom a couple times in the last few weeks. And I hear a lot of people blaming him too. But it's like, there's nobody else. And there hasn't been that much pressure. So he's guarding really, really good receivers for a long time.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. After Sutton was Kaminsky, Romeo Aquara, and then Pascal. Top of the defense. Gotta love it. Right, Brian Branch was number 1. Aleem McNeil was also looking good, man. Anzalone, Rodrigo, and Melifonwu. So that's that.
So I'm gonna ask a couple questions. Thank you for the PFFs this season, Eddie.
You got it.
I want to ask
it was a real task.
Couple questions of you guys. So I obviously, we've talked about it before the season, kind of talked about it in the middle of the season. Now that, here we are, talk of an extension for Goff, right? He says he loves Detroit, and all the Jared Goff chants going on all around the state and everything else. Are you good if they give him a slight bump, a big bump? What are your thoughts? Because he's gonna ask for more money.
Maybe he wants to take the Tom Brady route. Take a little pay.
Maybe
show
That'd
Detroit.
Be nice.
You know what I mean? That would be really awesome. Then I would love Jared Goff. He could stay as long as he wanted. That.
Dude.
He wants to take a
How
pay
old
cut
Everybody
is
and
wants
be
to go.
decent.
How old is he? Do you know?
I think he's
27?
28 or 29.
28.
Oh.
29, I believe.
He's still, I mean, he's technically in the prime of his career in a sense for quarterbacks too. The thing with that is, I was actually, even though I love the fact that Ben Johnson came back and he's gonna, run the offense again next year, I was excited to see how Jared Goff would do without him, but during his contract year. So then they could really see what they're getting once, because Ben Johnson's gonna eventually take one of these head coaching jobs, right? I mean, at some point down the line, he's gonna take one, and then
And if he doesn't, then that's really bad news. That means we sucked.
That means we were
right?
terrible. Yeah, or at least the offense was terrible. Yeah. So like eventually he's gonna take. So I want, but the problem is that now he's gonna, if he has anywhere close to the type of season he had this year, you pretty much have to re-sign him, unless they really have that much faith in Hendon Hooker, or they see somebody in the draft that they think could be just like him. But you're rolling the dice with those guys too, and you know what you have in Jared Goff. And I don't know. I wanted to see what it was going to be like. But I mean, I would love for him to take a smaller bump. Going back to your original question, but he's not going to, and I mean, he deserves a bigger contract if that's what he wants. I mean, he's played for it. I mean, he still has to make the throws. I mean, he threw 74% in the playoffs, like completion percentage wise. I mean, that's a ridiculous stat,
Right.
So it's tough to not re-sign him. Is the problem, even if he wants the big money. But that's, I mean, Brad Holmes will know what to do, I assume.
Dodie, thoughts?
I would hope for a little bump as well, Dean. I'm just feel the team is kind of working together, like with the offensive coordinator staying and not taking one of those positions. What was it, Washington and Seattle that were wanting them? And so I feel like they're like, no, we're a team and we're going to work together and maybe save a little bit from the salary to get other good people. We could stand to grab a defensive guy maybe.
Like sure. A couple.
And I've heard a couple people say, guys that know football better than me, say that they wouldn't mind a new DC defensive coordinator.
I was going to ask you guys about that.
So, yeah, I do like Goff though. I do. Maybe he could be the next Brady. They're saying that about Purdy as well.
Yeah,
he's got more of the storyline. That's for sure.
I mean, yeah, I certainly wouldn't put Goff in the Brady range for sure.
Not yet.
I think we're gonna have to get used to the idea that anything under $45 million a year is gonna be a discount. Yeah. Don't be surprised to see a 5 at the beginning of his salary. Yeah. I mean, you go to the NFC Championship game, all you can do is hope that it's like a 3-year type of deal and they front load it while we have the cap space.
Like a Kirk Cousins contract?
Ish, yeah.
Well, that was fully guaranteed. But
yeah, I mean, now if you could go 40 a year for 3 years fully guaranteed, that's a big commitment for Sheila and those. But you figure, unless something crazy happens, which could happen regardless, he's good for 3 years. A 40 would be a discount for what he's done. I mean, you hate to say it, because we've got a discount with him right now. He's at 33.
Yeah.
Which is a huge number, obviously. Right. But as far as starting quarterbacks go that lead you to NFC Championship games, that's quite a discount. Yeah. Other guys are coming up for contracts too. And that's the cost of having a great team. You have to start making decisions. And so Goff, you got to lock up for at least the next 3. I don't think his agent would take less than the next 3. And his agent probably won't take less than at least 45.
So
somebody else would pay him.
Yeah, for
Jared
sure.
Jared Goff is the 16th highest paid quarterback at this moment.
And at one point, he set the record. So, like, even if you pay him that top dollar, eventually it sinks back down into the fray. But it hurts right at first, though.
It depends, because I think a lot of these, to be that good, you got to have some kind of ego, right? So it's a respect thing. That's what I think Kirk Cousins said something recently. Like, it's what the dollars represent. It's not exactly what the amount is, because they're so incredibly rich now anyway, but it's what they represent. So if you can get him at like 42 and then let him be the one to release it and being like, I want to do this, like Tom Brady did, to make sure, like, I'm doing this for us, not like, hey, they're giving me another 12 million. Oh, sorry. So sorry for me, the kind of thing where you can be out and be like, I'm being a leader and all that, then it works. But everybody has to feel the same way. And who knows if that'll happen. But yeah, people should just, at least in their mind, be ready for him to make $50 million. And then anything lower than that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Salary cap goes up.
Right. So
whatever.
So the top 4 quarterbacks make $51 million a year to 55. Jalen Hurts is the low end at 51. Joe Burrow's at 55. Because I think it's this year he had his extension. I think right before he got hurt.
He set the record before the season, or right after the first week or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you slot him in between like Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, who both make 52 million? And if he goes for 52 million, that's a deal on Detroit's part. Or like if you put him at 48 million, that puts him between Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray.
It's probably where it'll be.
Around 48 million.
You would think, and because, like, realistically, Herbert and those guys right up there are in the younger portion also, while also showing as much as he's shown. Now they haven't got the NFC Championship game. That's why I think he'll probably be about 50 mil.
Right.
I assume that's probably where, if he's just going for the most money for his value, whatever, I get it. Like, I get it. But, also for people like us out here, right? We're like, well, shoot, dude, I would take 38 mil to have a better team. I'm pretty sure I could get by on that a year.
Isn't it
per
crazy?
year?
For 18 games.
Isn't
18 weeks.
Isn't it crazy that Patrick Mahomes is?
But that's fully guaranteed.
Yeah, and he took that.
That's a fully guaranteed 45 a year.
Yeah, he took that baseball contract essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Still making like 50 mil a season, isn't he?
He makes 45 for I think 10 years.
Right.
But it says total guaranteed.
I guess that's
41.
In Kansas City, the taxes must kill him.
Dude, I bet Missouri is great. I bet they got a nice low tax rate.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost guarantee it.
Yeah,
I would bet. Way lower than where you're at. I'd almost certainly.
Okay.
So, one last question. We'll move on. Gardner Johnson, do you bring him back? And does it depend on who they draft? Does it matter to you? How do you guys feel?
I don't think the plan was ever to keep him past this year anyway, especially after they got Branch, because you still have Tracy Walker under contract for another year because they re-signed him to that 3-year deal the other year. You have Melifonwu, who's been playing well. I mean, I know
He
Tracy
might have an
Walker.
option on this year for Tracy Walker.
Does
though.
he? Well,
maybe. I wouldn't be surprised.
Either way, you know what I mean. But either way, you still have Melifonwu under contract on his rookie deal still. Yeah, I think you have Kirby for one more year before his contract comes up, and then you still got Brian Branch, and all those guys. I mean, we played 90% of the season without Gardner Johnson anyway, so you can see they can do that stuff. I mean, and then you look at that late block or whatever, that little hit that he did that the guy sold. But I mean, you can't do stuff like that. The NFC champion, me and Bill had talked about it during the game. So you can't do that.
Yeah, you really can't do that, man. I mean, those are game killers. Those are momentum killers for sure. I don't know. What do you guys think?
For me, the talent's there, right? But there's a lot of off-field stuff that I
can't
get
do
it.
that though. So go ahead.
I get you can be confident, but at the same time, like calling out Deebo Samuel and just some of the things he says. I mean, I'm glad he's on our team. You know what I mean?
He's one of those
at
guys.
The same time, it's like it just seems like he doesn't fit that picture. And maybe I'm completely wrong.
From what I watched, because he only played very limited snaps for us this year, he wasn't worth the amount of trash he talked. If you're gonna go up there and put it up, dude, I'm with you. If you're full on backing that up, dude, like talk it if you got it, and he does in general, but he didn't for us in the few games he got to play.
Yeah, and
it's
not that he's not a good player. I just think they have the guys in place to not have to re-sign him to another 1 year prove it deal.
I think it depends on AG. If AG's gone, I think he's gone. I guess they have a really good relationship, or they have before even. So if AG stays, I think there's a chance. I think the chance goes up quite a bit that he's back, and I'm okay with that. He's a solid player if he's healthy. But if he's gone, I think there's no shot. I think if AG's gone, CD Deuce is gone also.
Oh, jeez. So, yeah, Dodie, do you have any thoughts on that?
I didn't know about the Gardner Johnson wave until just you guys saying it. I just looked at it. But I wasn't watching it at home by myself. Maybe would have, but I was, in the Tony.
Right.
Oh. Yeah.
Right. So yeah,
I didn't even know he did it till after the game myself.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know. Somebody was like, "Oh, whoever waved." Somebody tried to tell me it was Josh Reynolds who did. I'm like, dude, no way.
Right.
But yeah.
So, okay. Well, good season by the fellas. Just come up short, but I'll take any year over what we've gone through. So, great year. Moving on, I want to just real quick touch on Michigan. Jim Harbaugh leaves for the Chargers. Michigan Sharon Moore becomes Michigan's next head coach. I read an article today about the title said Michigan fans give Sharon Moore a chance to succeed. And it talked about how he's having to replace all these people, right? Because they're all with Harbaugh. And the biggest one was the strength and conditioning coach this week. Supposedly he's going with Jim up to LA Give me 1 second here. So I get his first. Yeah, Ben Herbert. Sorry, I knew his last name was Herbert. Supposedly he's going with Jim to the Chargers, and also what I talked about, Jesse Minter. It's not official yet, but they said that he's going to be the defensive coordinator in LA, which that's what I thought was going to happen anyway. So a lot of fans are upset about Herbert leaving because he was such a huge part for that team. But if you're a reasonable Michigan fan, you have to know, to me, this was coming. I mean, we talked about it before. I called this scenario. I said Sharon's going to be the head coach. Jesse Minter is going to leave with Harbaugh. Now Herbert leaving, I didn't expect that, but these are what some fans are saying are these are promotions. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not like Jim's going to completely desert Sharon Moore. You know, it's not like the strength and conditioning coach that's there now who got promoted from within didn't learn under Herbert and he can call and ask Herbert anything he wants. You know, I'm going to just desert these guys. So, like, to me, it's almost like a little chain of, the promotion for Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter and Herbert is to go to the NFL. Sharon Moore, great head coach for college football. Probably not the greatest offensive coordinator in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if you know what I'm saying, but just for me, if there's any Michigan fans that are out there that listen to this, it'll be okay. That's all I'm saying. It'll be all right. Jim K did what he said he was going to do, and he's wanted to go to the NFL for the last 3-4 years anyway. So, I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that. I just wanted to touch on that real quick.
I just wanted to say, Jim strikes me as a sink or swim kind of guy. Like, you say the lines are open, but are they open with Jim Harbaugh? Does he still talk to his boys back in San Fran, or is he, calling up Stanford, the boys, talking to Andrew Luck every now and then? Like, is he that guy though? Maybe maybe Minter. I don't know. I've seen enough of Harbaugh to.
Well, Minter's going with Harbaugh.
Well, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That doesn't mean his phone line though. I don't know who he is, but Harbaugh.
To me, I just feel like these were his guys, right? This was his staff, and it's Michigan. Like, I'm not saying that, it's Michigan. I'm saying he went to Michigan. He loves Michigan. But he also wanted to be in the NFL, and it was very obvious for a few years. And people every year were like, he needs to stop doing this, and it's just not a good look for recruits, as we get like top 10 recruiting classes when he's doing this anyway, interviewing for NFL jobs.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what you're getting with Jim Harbaugh. He loves the NFL. He came this close to Super Bowl. Yeah. You don't think that doesn't eat at that guy?
Yeah. And I think he landed in the perfect spot for him too when it comes to like the quarterback too. Because I mean, you look at like when he was with San Fran, Alex Smith was not a very good quarterback when he got there. But there was something about it that he just put confidence. It's not that Alex Smith didn't have the talent. I just don't think he had the confidence. And I think that's similar to what with Justin Herbert too, where he just doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't believe he's the guy. You know what I mean? Where like, same with Alex Smith, where he didn't believe it. But Jim Harbaugh was like, you're the man, you can do it. And then all of a sudden he's got, 9 more years of a career and he's legit with the Chiefs after he, you know what I mean? I don't know. I thought that was a good spot for him to land, was with a young quarterback that he could build confidence and some young quarterback that's already pretty good and then put more confidence into him.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'll tell you, people are very excited out here.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, they're very, because I have a lot of Charger friends that went to that Lions Charger game with us, and they're just totally stoked. And and it's kind of funny because they're a little naive to the Michigan State Michigan rivalry. They're just like, "Whoa, Michigan!" And they'll say it to my Michigan State friend, and she's like, "He's a total dork. Like, get your khakis out." I like to say it to the wrong friend.
Starch the khakis. Harbaugh's coming.
Them khakis.
Because they don't know. They're like, "Oh, it's Michigan. That's all I know." I'm like Michigan and Michigan State. Okay, so, but yeah, people are super excited.
They're like Michigan State, the basketball team. They got football out there. That's crazy.
Eddie, did you have any thoughts at all?
No, I think it's a great fit. For some of the reasons Dean said, I think Dean's take on Herbert's way off. I think Justin Herbert's a very confident, very self-assured quarterback who everybody tells is the next great thing. I don't think he's lacking any of that at all. In fact, I think Harbaugh's perfect for him because of that. And I think Alex Smith was a little different. And Alex Smith was great after he left San Francisco.
In his last year.
Great is strong, but good. Really good at Kansas City.
Really good.
And okay at Washington, whatever. No, I'm not just saying that. I think Justin Herbert is not a kid who's lacking any confidence. I think he's probably overconfident, if anything.
You think?
He probably believes too much in himself. Honestly, he needs to dial it down.
I don't know. Maybe it's just.
I don't know if he's saying he thinks
his
he's
face
just
looks so. His face looks so unconfident all the time. I just.
Well, that's just his stupid face.
That's just his stupid face.
But the way he plays, to me, I feel like he's confident because
he's a good.
Yeah, he's real good, and everybody's told him how good he is. That's why I think I don't know. I think that's why it's perfect because he doesn't have to build him up. I don't think he has to build him up. I think he's just got to come in and be like, this is our system. And I also think Sharon Moore would be fine as an offensive coordinator in the NFL too. If he can do what he's done in college. What he's done is as a coach has recruited great offensive lines. And if you get that going, you're going to be fine. But Ben Johnson is really good. But if he didn't have the guys that are there supporting the line on the front, he wouldn't be that good. I mean, and Sharon Moore, to me, that's why I think Michigan's going to be fine. I heard people calling into Detroit radio be like, "Oh, we're okay with him and his 8 wins next year, but it's just next year." I'm like, 8 wins? I mean, if he just does what he's done and keeps putting up good offensive lines, that's just what Michigan does. Mm-hmm. That's when Michigan State was good. It was the same program. I mean, in the Big Ten, get a strong offensive line, a good running game. You work off of that, and you're good to go.
100%.
And that's what Sharon Moore had done as a position coach and then as an offensive coordinator. And if you do that in the NFL, you're going to be good to go too, as long as you're not a total dolt. And he's not. So I think that was good for Michigan too. Not to go unsaid. I mean, the first African-American coach in Michigan history. I think that's important to note too. I mean, they're behind the 8 ball on that. That's a Michigan thing. I'm not surprised, but there we go.
Jeez.
No, a little behind. But hey, we're here. 2024.
And a great choice. Great choice.
Oh, I completely agree. I completely agree. And it almost seems now that everything has happened and taken place, this was what was going to happen regardless. Because Jesse Minter never coached one of those games at all. So, I think I don't want to put words in Harbaugh's mouth, but I think he was gone anyway. And he was just prepping Sharon.
Felt that way, didn't it?
Well, a little bit, because I mean, like I said, never did Jesse Minter head coach one of those games when Harbaugh was out for 6 games this year. So, and
full-time salary for halftime work, huh? Must be nice.
Just bringing home an ad.
It's a good gig.
Sweet gig.
So, all right, moving on. Pistons. Well, they lost tonight, but they won
winners of 2 of their last 4.
2 of the last 4. Playoffs or bust.
Getting better, at least.
Playoffs or bust?
Is it that new Italian guy we got?
Oh, Gallinari?
or Gallinari? Which one?
The one whose brother works for the team for recruiting. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No.
I didn't even.
I think she's talking about Gallinari.
Gallinari?
Yeah.
He's a white guy, that's all I know, with dark hair. But yeah, I didn't even know about it. I don't know how I missed out, but my dad told me while they were playing the Bucks. And it seems like they're playing better since they got him. I don't know what.
I think they're more well-rounded with those guys. I mean, we've talked about Gallinari is a good, pretty decent shooter. He's been known to be a shooter, in his career in the NBA. So spread the floor a little bit. I mean, they're not great. They're not great players, but they're guys that are around for a 6-win team,
I totally disagree with what Dean's saying again. No,
man,
right.
You're really high on Gallinari and Muscala, huh?
We've been missing it. I mean, hard. Defense, you're not being able to have many. One guy maybe is good enough to shoot threes that the other team needs to guard. I mean, just general basketball issues that you're like, how are these not solved at all?
I also think I know they've been doing it more, but I think they need to play Sasser more. I mean, I think that when Cade went down, I think that was the best thing that could have happened for him, like development wise.
Yeah.
Getting to play. I mean, every time I've watched him play, I always think he's going to be better than what people might have thought he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
He just
the count of Monte Assisto.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
he's got a 5 right now out of 3 games that he's played.
Yeah. To me, it just seems like I think he'll be pretty good one day.
He's good now, man. Yeah, I'm with you.
He's a shooter too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
I like him.
Actually, the Pistons are out here the weekend of the Super Bowl. So instead of spending thousands and thousands,
you can spend tens.
Spend tens of dollars.
100 or 2.
Treat yourself to a pizza while you're there.
Play the Clippers on Saturday, and then the 10th, and then they play the Lakers Valentine's Eve, the 13th. So
nice.
How romantic.
Yes, that's our idea.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
So when you guys go, will they know which Cade is which, or?
Send him in.
Send him in.
It's taking off the warm-ups. Hell
yeah. Let's get into the weekly Red Wings update.
They just lost as well.
Bruh. And that's the Red Wings weekly update.
What? To Ottawa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wednesday, 131.
So we'll add that in. Went 2-1 since last recording, beating Philadelphia 3-0 and Vegas 5-2. As you heard, they lost tonight. That puts them at 3-2 on the homestand, and they've won 9 of their last 13. I did put in here things seem to be looking pretty good and coming together. I didn't get to watch the game because I didn't have it on my TV. Dylan, he's played well. He had the 3 goals in the 2 games. Lucas Raymond with 4 assists. I put on here, hopefully the All-Star break doesn't slow the momentum, but yeah, because I think they're off now for a week.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of open days because I work out while they work out. I'm like, shoot, I haven't got some days off here. Yep, lots of cheat days coming up. But I did get to see them earlier this month in LA against Los Angeles. They won in a shootout, and that was a really good game. And they were so not there the first period. And I'm usually the Detroit teams are a little slow out here, time zone.
Sure.
Maybe they're fun in Los Angeles, but they woke up and they did great that second and third, and then won the shootout. And then they played the Ducks on the Sunday, and that we won that one as well. So like, all right, it's been a while since they won both of those games.
Yeah.
And when they play the Ducks, it's just nuts. I mean, it is so many Red Wing fans. It is a lot of people from Orange County are Red Wings fans. Not as much LA, but here.
Really?
And oh yeah, so many. It makes the Duck fans mad. It's the most I see.
Quack.
But
Quack.
It's the Mighty Duck Man, I swear.
But I don't know if I've told you, we've been known to throw the octopus. We did throw it.
Yes, you said something.
Yeah, one time out here pre-COVID. That was pretty cool. That was a definite, like high. It was like just a natural like adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that bucket list that's done too. I don't have
That's awesome.
Do that again.
Any other thoughts on the Red Wings before we move on?
I mean, I would just say that it's pretty good that they're at where they're at. I mean, to me they're in probably the toughest division in the sport. There's other teams in the division that are really tough, but this is the only division with 5 teams that have over 55 team points. And that says something. We're holding on to the second wild card spot right now. I don't know if that looks like after the loss tonight. The other 3 divisions only have 3 teams with over 55 team points. So that was important to note. It's tough. I know it had to win tonight, dude. That is so disheartening to hear they lost to Ottawa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is what it is, man. They got good players too. So
yeah,
that was it.
Okay. So let's get into our monthly health segment with Dodie. It's time to get our bodies right, get a little loose. Dodie, you wanted to talk about something today that, in regards to calories in the winter, and you have the floor.
One of our viewers asked me specifically if we would discuss this. She asked if you burn more calories in the winter than the summer. And this viewer just moved to the UP. So she is wondering if there's some benefits.
Fair enough.
You guys know that my parents just moved to the UP?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I knew they were selling their house, but I didn't know where they're going.
Yep. They moved from Phoenix, so they have a home in Phoenix. They still own that home.
What a change.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
In January too? Like, what's going on?
Phoenix to the Keweenaw.
In January, like right after New Year's. And I have a kick telling the people at Tony Pepperoni that, because everyone's like, where are you from? Where are you from? And I'm like, my parents literally just moved from Phoenix to Iron Mountain. They're like, what?
Dang.
That's crazy.
I almost said Iron Mountain there too, and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Dang.
So you should tune into my dad's sermons. He just talk about Tom Izzo sometimes, and they're fun to listen to. He's so happy to be up there. But the good news is, yes, you burn more calories in the cold. You do.
You said your dad, not your mom.
What? My mom asked the question.
I know, but you said your dad is so happy to be in Iron Mountain.
Oh yes, right. Not my mom. She's like, but I really have to take my hat off to her for being such a loyal wife. I think it's good for him to be around like his high school friends again and being the leader of a church again is good for him.
Well, and what it in my head, what it reminds me of is the scene from Cool Runnings when they get to the Olympic, and then John Candy just walks out into a blizzard, and that's your dad, and then your mom is the Jamaican team. Like, you've got to be kidding me right now.
No kidding.
Yeah. Once he retired from Brooklyn and they moved, my mom thought it was done with the North, not going further north.
Right.
Yeah.
Farthest you could go.
She's a good sport, I have to say.
Be like, I found a great church in Ontario. Where
keep going north.
The penguins in Antarctica need to see the Lord.
You said you wanted to go more south, right?
So, anyways, I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh, no worries. It is interesting, and JP's really excited to visit. He's never been to the UP, so we're excited.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
especially in the summer.
Yeah,
summer. We'll be going.
Late spring. Yeah.
So when you are in cold weather, you do burn more calories because you are actually activating more brown fat tissue, adipose tissue, than white adipose tissue. So we have both on our bodies. White adipose tissue is the energy storage, and it's more prevalent in people that are overweight, obese. The brown adipose tissue is the one that keeps us warm. So that becomes more active, and you have even more when you are in cold weather. Your body turns white adipose tissue into brown, actually. So you are, and it's more active. So you are burning more calories. I also have a couple other studies. My mom sent me this one actually, and that's why I was surprised she asked me this question, because I used to like to sleep at blazing hot temperatures. I have a mattress pad and I turn it up to hot, and I'm like, and then when I had a water bed in Brooklyn, I always had them the highest, like steaming. And my roommate here is like, "You are nuts!" Like,
yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah,
hot tub water bed.
Oh
my gosh!
My roommate likes it cold. She likes the AC on, and then the JP is the same way. So I'm outnumbered. But my mom sent me this study a year or so ago about men that slept at a temperature between 64 degrees and 67 degrees gained more brown adipose tissue, which eventually helped them burn more calories and lose weight. So once I read that study that my mom sent me, I always sleep at 64 to 67 degrees now. And my roommate's so thankful that my mom sent that study. So yeah, I do that. Once in a blue moon, I'll treat myself to a hot.
Oh my god!
To a hot sleep.
I just always like hot, and I always say I'm scarred from Michigan. And then also there's a study about people that swim like in water, because their body's keeping at a cooler temperature from the water, keeping it lower, that they do burn more calories because of the brown adipose tissue increase. So yes, the answer is yes, you do burn more calories in the colder weather.
Never feels like it.
Never.
No.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
because
putting on weight.
yeah,
currently.
I gotta say, my brown tissue count is up. Has been all year round, honestly.
This stemmed from our talk last time, and I gained weight in the winter there as well because you naturally want to eat more because you're burning more.
Right.
You know.
Oh, that's why for sure.
Yeah. Same in the summer for me too. I'm always eating more because I'm burning more. You know.
I will say this, and I've noticed this, and I think about what we talked about last time, and I feel like I go through more spurts of like wanting to eat more often than I do in the summer. So like for work, I drive a lot and I do a lot of side, and during the summer, I'm good with eating, once early afternoon, late morning, and then eating dinner, and that's it. Whereas right now, like from I'd say, well, when I got back, so beginning of January to now, so the month, I've just felt like I've just wanted to eat breakfast. I wanted to eat lunch, a mid snack, and it just feels like I'm just hungrier. Oh, rumbly my tumbly. I'm hungry now.
I know my mouth's watering.
I just feel
got me hungry.
I just feel like I don't know, is that a just based on the weather, or is it just our natural body?
Yeah, because of your increased calorie, it's the natural animal instinct to be a little hungrier. Yeah. You just got to make smart choices, I would say, with it,
Always.
the wholesome things, not the junks.
Yep.
It's okay to have more. I mean, the bodybuilding, we eat like every 3 hours, 4 hours, like many times a day. Small meals, so it's like keeping the fire burning like a bonfire, so that's one theory.
So I'm bodybuilding right now. Got it. No, I was wondering what I was doing. Makes sense. Holy cow.
I have to say, like, back in high school when I first learned, how to kind of watch my eating, and I remember going skiing and trying to watch it, and that is a joke because I was like so cold, and trying to have hot tea, and what a difference hot cocoa make instead of hot tea when you're come in from the ski hills. Like you need the calories.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
The tea was not cutting it, even though I was trying so hard. I didn't know any better. I was young. But now if I go skiing, shoot, I'm drinking the hot cocoa for sure.
Get that sugar in.
The tea will be at home, if I'm just sitting there, but when you're doing all that,
So from what I gather is that if you make the right food decisions or right health decisions in the winter, you're saying it's possible that you could lose more weight than you would in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, depending on what your activity level is like. Yeah, if you kept your activity level the same in the summer, yeah, you could, and still making smart choices in both. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, a couple questions as I was drinking this is diet pop and sugar free or soda for the non-Midwesterners.
Yes.
Pop, yeah. Diet pop and sugar free pop. Is it just not like good for you at all?
I am not gonna lie, I do love myself a Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, whatever. It's nice for a crutch, when you need something else, you're tired of drinking water all day. My opinion is it's better than a Coke or a Pepsi. that people disagree with me. It is true that the aspartame and the sweetener, the non-caloric sweetener, is disruptive to the bacteria in our intestines, which are very important in our health from everything from, sleep, heart disease, skin, muscles. So it is hard on those guys. The flora doesn't like that. But they don't, if you feed your intestine flora too much sugar too, you're going to be feeding the enemy flora, and they're going to grow out of proportion and kill off the good guys. So either way, my opinion is if you want a diet soda once in a while for a treat, that's fine. That's how I use it. That's actually one of my New Year's resolutions. Like, I only drink diet soda on like a treat day now. And I've been known to have it a little more than that. So,
so what would you say, like, someone who like drinks a lot of like sugar-free tea, right? We'll say sugar-free, like we'll say Snapple sugar-free tea, right? Raspberry tea specifically. And then and water. And that's really the only things they drink. But they drink a lot of the tea. Is that like not
asking
good
for a
for
friend?
you?
If it's someone that needs to lose weight, depending, like if that gets them through, like, hard times of they just want to be eating candy or things like that, if the sugar-free raspberry tea gets them through that, I think it is a better choice. But if they have that flora problem that we were discussing, then they probably have to do a weeding of the flora, which includes getting rid of the diet drinks for a while.
What would you suggest? And so, like, this person, they can't have caffeine, right? Or they choose not to have caffeine. So like decaf coffee, things like that. What would you suggest, like, as an alternative?
And the tea is decaffeinated that they're having?
Yes.
Okay. I would do the Soda Stream machine. Have you seen that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love mine. I do love it. And it's definitely made me drink water more and just stay away from the soda pop because it's fun. So if you like those, and then you can get the little flavorings that are they're not sweetened with anything. Nothing. It just gives a hint of lime or raspberry, whatever. So I think those are a really good choice. And it's good for Mother Earth because you're not using all the cans. Those things last forever. The air tanks, it lasts quite a while.
Right.
So that's a good option, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like you just don't want to like base your whole diet off sugar-free, essentially.
No, yeah, it definitely
because of the aspartame and.
Yeah, I mean, it really should be a treat. It still should be a treat. But if it's a beginner dieter, like say it's someone that's 300 pounds, 5'2", and loves Diet Coke and wants to give up candy, and that Diet Coke is kind of their stronghold, that their way they can make it through, I'd be okay with them going with that for a while. And then eventually we'll figure out how to wean off of that, but it can be a crutch for a while. I'm okay with that.
I only said that because you said 5'2", 300.
He's like, I'm not that far away.
I'm not 300 pounds, but I'm not 5'2" either. I'm a little taller than that.
You're not 300 pounds either.
No, I know, but
he's 5'4", 275. Okay, take it easy. So far away.
Yeah. I'm just waiting to see
the 3 means a lot when you start to get into the 5'4", 5'3" range. So, Well, all right. Well, cool. Thank you so much. I always I say this every time, but I enjoy those segments because it lets me ask some questions. Do you guys ever have questions?
I've asked before.
You
Oh,
ask
yes, last
anything
time.
I would think of.
Oh, that's fair. Well, I didn't know, maybe, Dean, I know you were looking at starting to work out and a little.
Who told you that? Somebody lied to you.
So, no, I didn't know if you guys had any. All right, so let's get into our last segment. We have a couple games here. First game we want to play was Dodie. Last time you were here, you had the Detroit trivia cards, and selfishly, I want to see how we do.
I know. But these are JP's for Christmas. From
how far back did
they
go?
That's
the question.
I was very impressed. The last time I asked that question, and I was telling my father, hey, you guys knew the answer. I was like, dang. So, yeah.
Dang.
I think it gave us a little confidence moving into this one, but
I know
we could totally go over.
Yeah.
Also,
sure. Anything before 90 is probably out of. Not a lot. I don't know a lot.
I thought you were going to say 2019. Dean just became a fan when Dan Campbell's second year of being a coach.
Actually, it was 2023 when I became a fan. I saw they went 9-8 the year last year.
He was only a fan of the Pistons in 2004. Now he's a Heat fan. Since then, he's been a big Miami Heat guy.
Big Miami Heat guy. Love the Athletics too. They're my favorite baseball team.
Only during the year that Moneyball came out.
Yeah,
he was a big Yankees.
I was a big Jonah Hill fan for a while.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, there's 4 questions on every card. I don't know how many you want me to ask. So this one says Isaiah Thomas was named MVP of the 1990 NBA Finals when he led the Pistons past what Western Conference team to claim the title?
I think
wasn't it the Lakers?
Are we gonna?
How are we doing the?
Yeah, that's what I was just wondering. How are we gonna go about answering this?
I wrote it down.
Okay.
Well, I'm not gonna lie about my answer, Bill. You write it down for proof, huh? Was it? I don't know why, but I want to say it was. I know it's not, but I'll just go with it. Houston Rockets.
Okay.
I'll say Portland.
Portland is correct.
Oh, it was.
That was my.
Dang it.
See, it just shows how young you guys are. Because I was like 14 then, or 15.
I wasn't alive.
Yeah. Really? What year were you born?
92.
Oh gosh.
Little baby.
Little baby.
Yeah. And then this is an older question too. In 1962, what Hall of Fame Lions defensive back hit Giants quarterback Y.A. Tittle so hard that he knocked the plays out of his head, quote, rendering him unable to remember the team's playbook until after halftime?
2 guys I'm thinking of. You guys go.
No, you go.
I can't remember.
Well, no, I don't want to give you any answers.
Dre Bly.
I wrote mine down.
Write them down.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name.
What year was that?
1962.
Isn't there a guy named like Bo Laney or something?
Jeez. I don't think so.
I'm trying to think of.
It's one of 2. I'm gonna go with Lem Barney.
That's what it. That's the one I was trying to do. I was not even close though.
I put Lem Barney first, then I put Jack Christensen.
I wouldn't have landed on Lem Barney.
So you got 2 answers? Awesome.
No, I kept Lem Barney.
Actually, Dean's answer was the closest. It was Dick Laney.
Mm.
Wait, Dick Night Train Lane?
It just says Dick Lane.
That was my second. That was the other guy.
So I guess I get that one.
He said Dre Bly, didn't he?
That was a joke. That was a joke.
When she said Bo Laney, I was like, maybe this is Dick Laney. Okay.
I should have went with the Night Train.
Like I did.
Okay. What number was retired by the Tigers in honor of Hank Greenberg?
Dang it.
I don't know. 19. I'm just throwing numbers out there. I can go up. I can go all the way through. 1, 2.
I don't think it's right.
Was it 3?
Because I think that's Trammell.
That was Trammell.
Yep, Trammell was 3. Lou was 1.
Okay, I got mine.
I don't know.
Is it 8?
And what do you say, Eddie?
Dang it. I was thinking it was that too, but now I feel like I'm just copying Bill. So I'll go with a different number. It's not 9. I remember because Damian Easley wore that. I felt like it was single digit though.
Just go 8.
Nah. No, it's too late for that.
What year was Hank Greenberg? I don't even know. Does anyone know?
Had to be the 80s, eh?
No.
No, it was
no.
90s,
It would have been like
70s, 60s,
mid 40s.
40s, eh?
Because he went to World War II. So
yeah.
Wow.
Or was it Vietnam? He went to a war.
No, it was definitely what'd you say?
Bill's just got his computer up, just
War II.
Googling all the answers. It's fine.
I just pulled up. I already said my number.
I'm going with 8 also.
8 was, I remember Mike Heath in the 80s. Number 5.
Oh man, Ed. Isn't that your like baseball number?
5?
That's Montgomery's number, isn't it, in Lions?
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty good at remembering jersey numbers.
Shame on you.
Shame on
because
me.
I use them as my lucky numbers.
Shame on me.
Shame on me. Last one on this card. Okay. What Lions running back captured the 1978 Heisman Trophy as a junior, rushing for 1,896 yards and 22 touchdowns for the Oklahoma Sooners?
I don't know. I can't think of the name.
I have mine written down.
After you looked it up.
No.
1978 Lions roster.
Here's what's making me mad. I feel like I know this answer every day except right now. I feel like the guy has the award named after him. They talk about him all the time.
Oh. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
So not the right guy then. So that's not the right guy then.
It might be, now that you got me thinking.
Duh. Of course I'm gonna help you out.
No, I already got my answer.
What's your answer?
Do you have your answer?
No.
Oh.
If you have yours, why don't you just say it? I won't go with your answer.
Just go with my answer. Billy Sims.
That's who I'm thinking of. That's who I'm trying to think of.
JP is just cracking up over here. And then Dean,
that's exactly who I was trying to think of. Don't they have a college award for Billy Sims?
Really? No, it's
Don't
Doak
they?
Campbell.
Walker.
Doak Walker. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I was like Campbell.
I was thinking.
The old Doak Campbell Award.
Then that would have been
No.
my. So I have no answer because that was who I was trying to think of.
Oh, Billy Sims.
Yeah.
That is the correct answer.
Yeah.
Billy Sims.
And we all knew it.
For sure.
Every single one of us.
But I think
Dude,
Doak
I
Walker
swear-
played for the Lions.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm mixing the two, but that I wasn't thinking. I could think of Doak Walker. I thought there was another award, and obviously I'm wrong.
I did say Doak Walker.
But I remember Billy Sims was supposed to be the dude. Then he got hurt pretty soon in his Lions career. And then, 5 years later, we had Barry.
Right. Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if we ever come visit Michigan, we'll bring this game. We could stay up all night playing the game.
It'd be fun.
Do a new card every time I'm on.
Okay, real quick. The other game. The BDE Sports Talk podcast is thrilled to announce that we actually have our first official sponsor of the show, Adobo Boy in Kentwood, Michigan. Now, whoever has watched or listened to the podcast knows that Dean, Eddie, and I are Filipinos. And with being Filipinos, we love Filipino food. And Adobo Boy, who serves Filipino food, delivers in every facet of the game. Their menu rotates weekly, so there's always a reason to come back to try more delicious Filipino cuisines. But one dish you can always count on, and is on there every week, is Red's Adobo Bowl, which I highly recommend. Adobo is a iconic Filipino dish, so definitely one to try out there. I absolutely love it. It's their signature dish as well. It features tender pork braised in soy sauce and vinegar, served on a bed of rice with Jackie's achar, which is a papaya salad, which is awesome. Comes with cucumber and a fried egg as well. So with that said, if you're adventurous with food or you just want some amazing food and vibes, stop into Adobo Boy, where Ace, Jackie, and Red, the owners of Adobo Boy, they are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. Seriously, just awesome people. So for this weekend and next week until our next episode, if you stop in, you get 5% off your total bill if you mention the code BDE Sports Talk Podcast. Pretty simple for this week, especially if you're listening. Just let them know. They'll take 5% off right there, which, in today's age, saving money is saving money. So Adobo Boy, they're open Tuesday to Friday, 11:30 to 2 p.m. for lunch, and then 5 to 7:30 for dinner. Same schedule on Saturday, only open till 8:30, so an extra hour for dinner. Adobo Boy is located at 3740 28th Street Southeast in Kentwood, Michigan. It's inside the amazing Myanmar restaurant. So there are actually two places that you can try amazing food and meet some amazing people. But Adobo Boy, hands down the best. Go out and try it. 5% off. Code BDE Sports Talk Podcast. Mm-hmm. So it's perfect to have Dodie on here too. So this game I've heard on the radio, and I think it's a fun game. So what we're going to do, the game is how many can you name in 30 seconds? Okay. Now, someone starts with a number, and each of you keep going until
we reach 100.
Until you pass. So if Dean says he can name 8 of this, and Dodie doesn't think she can pass. Eddie says 9. Dean passes. Then Eddie has to say 9 in 30 seconds. Okay.
I see what you're saying. So it's like a prove it game. You name 9, prove it. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. Cool. Let me throw up the old timer here. All right. So first one, fast food places. We'll start top right here, Dean. How many can you name in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
I can name 6.
Okay. Dodie?
I think I could name 15.
Oh wow!
In 30 seconds?
Prove it.
Eddie?
I can't do that. I know that.
Okay.
None of that in and out stuff either. It's gonna be Michigan based.
All right. So Dean, you pass?
Yeah.
Okay. Dodie, you ready?
My brain don't work that fast.
Let me.
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, she's ready.
List of fast food places. All right. That doesn't matter. I'm going to trust you. 3, 2, 1, go.
McDonald's, Burger King, Hardee's, Carl's Jr., Del Taco, Taco Bell, Little Caesars, Pizza Hut, KFC, Domino's Pizza.
Ooh.
What am I thinking?
That was 10. Del Taco.
Oh, I missed it out. I didn't even say in and out.
Yeah. Minus 10 points for Dodie.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Should be minus 15.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So rude.
The competitive.
Next up, 4-legged animals. How many can you name? We'll start with Dodie this time.
Oh, goodness. I'll go 10.
Jeez. Okay.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Dean? Can you name 11?
I don't think so. Pass.
Okay.
Welcome back to the hot seat.
I feel like you could do 11. I feel like I could do 11 too. I just not confident.
Okay. Ready,
I
Dodie?
end up saying some stupid answer. Kangaroo.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Cat, dog, donkey, cow, horse, pig, lizard, lamb, bull, giraffe, rhinoceros.
You got it.
You already got it. Yeah.
That one was much easier than fast food.
Yeah. I was like, I could have just gone with farm animals to start. I could have just worked my way.
Okay. Eddie, how many brands of clothing can you name in 30 seconds?
4.
Dean?
I'll go with 6.
Oh, you think you're better than me?
By 2.
Dodie?
I think I could do
No
10.
pre-thinking.
No pre-thinking. You just answer. 10?
Yeah, 10.
Okay, 10. Eddie?
Well, no, pass.
For the sake
Falls
of competition,
Creek.
I'll say 11 just for the sake of competition.
11.
Oh,
Dodie,
good.
12.
Good. No, I'll
You got
stick
12?
at 10.
Oh. I was hoping
All
to-
right, Depot at 11.
Oh, man.
All
Give me a
right.
I'm
second.
passing on that.
Okay.
I mean,
All right,
obviously.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. Old Navy, Gap, Tommy Hilfiger, right? Reebok, Nike, Fruit of the Loom, Carhartt, Adidas, Under Armour, JCPenney, Kohl's. Just start naming stores. I know I'm at 9. That's.
That was close.
Gucci.
Gucci,
Versace.
Dolce & Gabbana.
Yeah. I know. I said all like the poor kids stores.
Goodwill.
Yeah, Goodwill.
Is TJ Maxx a brand or not?
That's Tommy Hilfiger, buddy.
Dean said 11, so minus 11 for Dean. All right.
I'm winning, I'm pretty sure.
I think I'm
Yep. Dean's minus 11. Dodie's minus 5. Eddie is 0. All right.
Last one.
Nope. Super Bowl champions. How many can you name in 30 seconds?
Do you have to name the year?
No.
Can you name the same team multiple times?
No.
Well, you only have. I mean, you can only go up to 30.
There's.
I'm going to say, well, not even. You only really go up to like 20 something. I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
We're going to start small.
Dodie?
I'd say I could do 10.
Yeah, I'll pass.
He's trying to go with the prices.
I'll see if I can flow through on 0.
10. Ed Dean?
Yeah, pass.
All right, 10.
I don't think I can name 10.
You don't think so?
3, 2,
Maybe.
1, go.
Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Chargers, Los Angeles Rams. Oh, excuse me, San Diego Chargers, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Kansas City Chiefs, New England Patriots, Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants, New York Jets, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Indianapolis Colts.
Okay. Hold on. Quite a few answers there.
Squeezed by. She got it.
Yeah, I just squeezed by. Thank you for the Chargers. You're right. I mean,
10.
San Diego Chargers.
Well,
19.
I don't think the Chargers or Cardinals ever won. But you got over 10.
You still got over 10.
Oh.
You still got over 10.
The Cardinals haven't won? Arizona Cardinals?
I don't believe
made it
so.
1 year with Kurt Warner.
They got there.
They did get there.
That was what, 2009, 8?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Who won that?
Somewhere around that time. Against
Do you
the
remember who
Cardinals?
won?
Who did they play?
Some team that
The
won.
Steelers. It was the Steelers.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. The Steelers.
James
for
Harrison
sure.
had that interception. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and who
Okay.
else did I say that didn't win? LA Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers. I
Yeah.
think they got close with the Fouts.
Well, San Diego Chargers. Wait, no, San Diego Chargers were in it, but they didn't win.
They've won.
I don't even know if
No.
they've made it. Have they?
Pretty sure. No, they've made it. Yeah, I'm pretty.
Maybe
sure
with Dan Fouts back in the 80s, 70s.
There's only 5 teams that have not made the Super Bowl. Oh, but we're talking about one.
Yeah.
Won
Got
it.
it.
Yeah.
Well, then I
You got
didn't
it.
give me.
I mean, you got your point. You got the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to give me points. Sorry.
All right. 2 more. U.S. Capitals.
6. Starting low, baby. Start low. I know I could name more than 6.
Dodie.
Oh, I will pass.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll pass too. I want to see Dean name 6 of them.
6 state capitals?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
You got Lansing. Now I feel like I'm under pressure. Tallahassee, right? I think. Is it Albany? Boise. It's not LA. It's friggin' Austin. And Phoenix. No, Tucson. Did I catch it? Did I get it?
It's Phoenix.
No! Damn it. I had it in the grasp of my hands. Then you guys froze for a second. And I was like, then it was.
I
laughter.
can hear you. All right.
It was laughter afterwards.
That was fun. That was fun to see. That was fun to see. Okay. Last one.
Pass.
Movies. How many movies can you name in 30 seconds? Eddie, you're down 5-0.
6.
6. Dean.
I'm gonna pass.
Dodie.
I could probably do 15.
I'm gonna pass on that.
15 movies in 30 seconds.
That's fair. I think I could name 15.
Are you ready?
Not in
You
30
just
seconds.
passed.
Not in 30 seconds. I can name 15.
This is for the win. If you get this right, you win. If you don't, Eddie wins.
Yes,
Doing
baby.
Eddie.
Not playing at all.
All right.
Strategy.
You ready?
I'm at least second.
It's true.
3, 2, 1, go.
Bambi, Cinderella, Snow White, Peter Pan, Sleeping Beauty, Dumbo, Pinocchio, Lion King, American Symphony, American Fiction, Oppenheimer, There's Something About Mary, Fargo.
Time.
No, keep going.
Jello and Jaws.
Oh my goodness. I
Missed
gave you
it.
an extra 2 seconds.
What?
You can't just
You
yell
gave her
out.
extra time?
Yeah, because someone yelled time.
Yeah,
You
Dean.
took the Disney route. That was solid. That was good. Good call.
That's what to do, I think.
Yeah.
I think that's why Dean yelled out in the middle of your turn. It was just
Yeah.
it was disgraceful.
Yeah, it was all me. The last place with no chance to win.
You had exactly 15.
Nice.
Boo.
I would have gone the Marvel route. I think that's the route I would've
There
taken.
you go. That's a great idea. Yeah. Yeah, you
So-
kind of got to I mean, I this first time I played this game, but you got to focus it in and
Right. Once I
Yeah.
couldn't name 6 state capitals, I was out.
it's pressure. It's like all of a sudden your brain's like, ah.
All of a sudden, it just left. Everything was gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did you guys like that? That's fun.
Yeah, that was pressure for sure.
Felt the
Eddie,
heat.
pressure.
It was fine. I thought it was all right. I mean, I took second and I gave it a go. And
I like the strategy. So
it was a strategy. Almost
right.
paid off.
Almost.
All right. Well, that will do it for this week's episode of the BD Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you, Dodie, for coming on the show. Jeez, Pete. That was a do. Thanks for coming on the show. If you want to let everyone know your website right now, that would be great.
Sure. Actually, JP's working on it right now. Our Costa Rica trip for wellness is on Travel for My Health. And there's always 4. It's Nutrition for Men, Nutrition for Ladies.com, Travel for My Health. So he's putting together a little Costa Rica trip we're doing in October that I told you about before. So.
And you can find that on Travel for Health.
Travel for My Health.
Travel for My Health.
.com.
All right. Sounds good. And will soon be one of our sponsors.
Yes. Absolutely.
You can start holding me accountable.
That's our goal.
that winter cold is not losing any weight.
Think positive next time you get cold.
So, okay. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on. And thank you everyone for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button. Comment with any questions or comments you have. And everyone, have a great week. We'll see you next week with 1 hour episode of sports and another episode of just, I guess, fun stuff. So everyone have a great week.
Sports is fun.
See you then. Sports is fun.
Sports talk.